I accidentally closed my toes in your car door.
Why'd you do that?
I thought they needed a good crack, seeing how it was the same foot that I broke some years ago. That was that noise when you heard me go, ow! And then open the door a little bit more and closed it again.
It's like, why does he just keep doing it?
Ow! 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 This movie was really fucking good! We went to go see, we were going to go see The Hive, that, like, one night only Fathom thing that, like, Nerdist was doing.
Which I was intrigued by, but the only preview or anything I've ever heard about it was, like a week ago when we saw that thing that's like, hey, next week for one night only, The Hive
Chris
by
Hardwick's
Nerdist. Like,
introducing The Hive.
it's like,
I leaned over and was like, you want to go to that?
like, all right.
Yeah, why not? So I sent you a text and, like, either I fucked up or, like, the site fucked up. But I swear to God it said that it was on Tuesday.
Which I would not rule it out as being like an AMC Fandango like screw up, because they've done that to us on several occasions before.
This is true. Like, there are so many times when I've had to text you or Sarah or whoever and been like, oh, well, this preview screening was listed, but not anymore.
Yeah, you're off the hook for tonight. It's like, oh,
that happened with
right.
this movie. Like last week they had this listed, The Perfect Guy listed as getting a pre-screening, and then they took it off. And so, yeah, I'm like, well, the Perfect Guy's not playing. So, and, so with, maybe it did say it was on Monday, but I'm just so used to those Fathom events either being on Sunday, Tuesday, or Thursday. Maybe I just accidentally saw Tuesday. So anyway, we didn't go see The Hive, so if anyone out there saw it, I'm curious how it was.
or what it's about.
Yeah.
Again, all I know is like the 30-second, hey, Fathom event next week, The Hive. Bye.
Well, we should go to that. So instead I texted like, you want to go see The Perfect Guy instead? It is the #1 movie in America.
Which did initially shock me, but considering how the 2 weeks ago,
#1 movie.
Yeah, the #1 movie in America was that fucking church movie. So I'm like, you know what? All right, this
is a step up from War Room. It's better than War Room.
That is true.
All right, I said this when we were leaving the movie. I turned to you and said something like, well, that movie did a great job of being exactly what I thought it was going to be. It is exactly what you think it's going to be.
If you saw the trailer for The Perfect Guy and you thought, oh, okay, so that's the kind of movie. It is exactly that. What you see in the trailer is exactly the movie. There's no twists. There's no and then you get to the third reel and all hell breaks loose. Like, no, it is exactly the movie that they are selling. Nothing more, nothing less.
It's 90 minutes, and it's just a trashy stalker thriller. Like, we were talking about this in the video for The Gift, where I was like, there is something about stalker thrillers where even the trashy ones, it's sort of like, we should check this out.
It's still fun. Like, it's like when I put this on the same, like, category, like...
as No Good Deed.
Yeah, like, it's not with The Gift, but this is a double feature with No Good Deed.
It is practically the same movie. Yes, it is a double feature with No Good Deed. This movie, it's unfortunate we saw this in a theater that was dead, because this was kind of like No Good Deed. It would probably be a blast seeing it with an audience, because even
an audience who was into it.
Just totally into it, like No Good Deed, like calling the villain the devil, and like when we were watching like No Good Deed, and that girl next to me was like, oh man, they better pray she don't know karate, or something like that.
Why should that be a thing? Why did you say that out loud?
Unfortunately, we saw this there was nobody else there, so it was just us.
It's a Tuesday night.
Yeah. So we didn't get like the big audience thing, but watching the movie, yeah, it like with a big audience is probably fun. Without that, I mean, you can see the fades to a commercial break in the movie.
Yeah, it's odd when you have like a standard movie, like it has all these like regular cuts. Some of them are really jarring. Like suddenly like it cuts to like it breaks that rule. That what is the
the 100-degree or the 180-degree rule?
Yeah, because like it'll cut from one of them to the other, but they're both sitting the same way, looking the same direction. So it's just jarring when it happens. Like one person will be sitting there looking this way, and like just quick cut. Like you'll see like somebody start to move, and then just suddenly it's like it goes from him to her, and it's like whoa, like I feel like I missed something there, or like I stroked out for a second. Like, did it just do that?
She'll be wearing the same clothes, and so it's really jarring because all this. It looks like he's a shapeshifter. They'll be having. There
was one scene like kind of into the movie where like she starts thinking that there is a problem, and she's sitting down at this swanky like restaurant. Like
the only restaurant
in town.
Yeah, it is the only restaurant in this movie.
And she's sitting there talking to one of her friends, and it cuts to her, and it cuts to the friend, and it cuts to her, and then it cuts back, and it's him sitting there, and she's like, "Wait, was he sitting at the table the whole time?" She having this shit conversation, and then they just didn't pan over, and he's in like the third seat at the table. Like,
it's kind of like something you would see in like a Tyler Perry movie. Like, I mean, I want to state first, this is better made than a Tyler Perry movie, but
it has some questionable camera work.
Yes, like that scene.
It's like this is where this like the cinematographer went after like they're like, Tyler Perry, man, you can't make any more fucking movies, man.
Yeah, like how in that scene I told you about in Single Moms Club, where like it just looks like it's two people talking, but pans out halfway through the scene and it's a boardroom meeting with 12 other people. It's like, okay,
did they all just get here? Like you gotta, it's an establishing shot. You put it first to establish things. You don't put it at the end to round things out. Like, oh, and by the way, they're in the middle of like a concert. It's like, why? What?
This movie also has not only like just the same restaurant that they go to every single time, but also same coffee shop every single time too, with this barista. Oh my God. They just got the most hipster looking barista they could possibly find. Like, as soon as this guy came on screen, I'm like, this guy, he's either a stand-up comedian or he definitely has a podcast somewhere. Like, I'm talking like,
but his character is an art major who's now studying, philosophy.
He's got just a sweet antique can collection at home. He's the biggest polka dot bow tie you've seen. Gigantic glasses. I'm not even talking about like mine or yours.
This is like, wait a minute.
No, his were like just the biggest fuck off ones he could find that are probably not even prescribed to him.
Yeah, he had like those kind of like Harry Carey style glasses with, I'm sure, just glass in it.
Like Mike Lawrence beard and just this sweet like denim button-up shirt that he's wearing.
And just looking so pissy at his job.
Mm-hmm.
Is like they're arguing over whose latte it is, and the whole time he's just sitting here like they're like it's like, look, someone take the fucking, I'll just drink it myself.
He's already had 10 of them that morning. Not from that coffee shop, though. From the one that's not corporate.
From the vegan coffee shop down the street.
Which also goes into the fact, because this guy actually really probably doesn't have any actual lines in it, which also goes to some of the best characters in this movie are the extras. There are some extras in this movie where I'm not sure
Shocked man at the bar.
Yes!
Was my favorite.
Yeah. Oh god, shocked man. There are extras in this movie that are in the background that are just so realistically reacting to these sequences that I'm not sure they know they're in a movie. Like, these are the best acted extras I've ever seen in my life.
It's like that guy was just sitting there, like, just thought that he was in, like, a very eclectic, like, you know, restaurant / bar that just happens to have a camera crew walking around.
He thinks he's in a reality show. It's this guy, it's the part in the trailer where, Morris Chestnut goes up to Michael Ealy at the bar, and then Morris Chestnut, like, grabs Michael Ealy. But the part in the movie, like, Michael Ealy's sitting next to this, like, 50-year-old, like, white businessman type. And
Yeah,
like,
look like Roger Sterling.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, he's just stopping there before he goes home to, like, not sleep with his wife.
Yeah. He's probably in the background of every single one of the... Because with the barista scene, with the restaurant scene...
They were probably all filmed the same day.
They were filmed the same day. So, I mean, I understand. Well, that's very convenient, but I almost want to see this movie again just so I can see if the same extras.
Because, like, yeah, at the coffee shop, it was the same girl at the counter and the guy barista.
Yeah.
Except when it goes back to the scene later, he's at the register and she's on drink orders.
Because it's totally a different day. So, like, Michael Ealy says to Morris Chestnut, like, oh man, so I seen your emails, so I guess you're just like a big old pussy. And then the guy sitting next to Michael Ealy just like, huh? Whoa.
He just leans into frame, like, dude's face is here, and all of a sudden you see him like, huh? Like, lean past him, like, it's like you grasp for that 1 second of screen time, man. You just fucking run for it.
Oh, God.
He's just so offended, like, he's disgusted and offended in, like, one solid motion. It's beautiful.
He made the most of his 1 second of screen time.
And then these two continue to have this really polite, although strongly worded conversation until Morris Chestnut tries to choke his head off. And this dude never moves. He just keeps looking at it at this point. He's like, well, now I'm just curious as to what the fuck's going on with these two.
This movie is a lot of people shouting in a crowded place, and then everything there goes silent, including the band.
Which I have to assume, does that mean they have, like, a live pianist in there every night?
Yeah, Michael Ealy walks away. And so, like,
it's like those bar scenes they used to have in old westerns, like, it's like, it's all right. And then everybody goes back to just making noise.
This sweet 5-star restaurant, there's just a saloon pianist there. Later on, like, when Michael Ealy's with that one woman, and they're, like, having lunch or whatever, and then, how do you pronounce her name? Santa Lathan?
I don't know. The girl.
She goes up and is just like, so I just wanted you to know you're going out with a murderer. She's talking to the girl Michael Ealy's eating with. And then did you see the guy, like, sitting behind him just turns around? What?
There's a murderer here?
You know,
I just got my Reuben.
Most of the situations like that Michael Ealy is put in, like, something like that, like, he could honestly easily probably bullshit his way out of. Like, look, I don't know. This is my ex-girlfriend. She's
psycho. She does this every relationship I have.
Every new relationship I has. She just shows up. Or, like, him getting served with a restraining order, like, gets him fired, I think?
Well, it seems like he's, like, I forget what he said. Like, he's either an independent securities contractor.
Oh, okay.
Or he works for some firm, but yeah, like, he keeps just getting served paperwork while he's trying to land these contracts. It's like, all right, I'll go draft up some papers. We'll get some signatures on this. And all of a sudden, like, a sheriff deputy walks in, like, it's like, hey, these are for you. Let me explain everything about how a restraining order works.
Does that happen when you get, like, yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up. Does that, when you get served a restraining order, do they have to
be a total dick and say all that? Possibly. I know that, like, part of, like, the whole being served thing is I think that they have to, like,
you've been served,
like, have to, like, actually have you confirm that you are you.
No, this deputy like explains the entire situation. Is this in this meeting that Michael Ealy is in, and the deputy is like, "You've been served. You must stay at least 150 feet from Leah. What's her face?"
Which, I mean, I could see that being the way that that's supposed to go, just so it's not one of those things like, it's like, oh, well, we gave you the restraining order, like, oh, but it was so complicated, I didn't know what it meant.
I didn't read it. That could have been anything. That was probably why he was let go from that particular independent contractor work, because the guy he was interviewing to was Detective Greg Medavoy from NYPD Blue. The first time I've seen him since Deadwood. I think he knows the score. He knows this guy's bad.
You're bad news. Well, I'm sure some of you who are watching this have had restraining orders filed against you, you creepy fuckers. Tell us, is that how it happens? Just down here.
I like that the explanation for him being crazy is they say he's bipolar, which has probably got to piss off some bipolar movie, or some bipolar people who go see this movie. I know a lot of bipolar people in my life. I don't know how well the ones I know would react to this movie about a deranged murderer, and the explanation that's given for him being a psychopathic murderer is he has bipolar disorder.
But the problem is if you try explaining that to someone who's bipolar, the reaction's just going to be like, ha. Ha.
Like,
I'm not like that!
Like him in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
he
sorry,
does that a lot in this movie. He's like tapping a lot. He taps more than he has dialogue in like the last 2/3 of this movie.
I'm pretty sure the last part is in Morse code.
Morris Chestnut code.
Oh shit. Blew this case wide open. It's like the Kaiser Soze moment. I feel I should run down this street now. No.
I love Morris Chestnut. First, that's another thing. I know we're being like jumping all over about this movie, but this is not the kind of movie where we're like,
watch the trailer, keep up.
It's like, yeah, he is a stalker, she's his ex-girlfriend. That's the movie.
Honestly, all of the high notes are in the, like, almost everything that he does is in the trailer. Mm-hmm. So you're not missing anything. Save yourself. You're like, okay, what's a trailer? 2 minutes 30? Yeah. Okay, so so save yourself, 86 minutes and just watch the trailer.
At the fucking most. This movie's a quick sit. So Morris Chestnut is like, he's her ex at the beginning, but then after the Michael Ealy stuff, they get back together, and spoiler, Morris Chestnut dies at one point in the movie.
Which that surprised me.
Actually, it did me too, and I should have seen it coming, because that is really telegraphed.
As soon as she gives him that fucking watch.
Yeah. I'm like, how did I not see this right after she gives him this watch? And after he leaves her a voicemail saying how much he loves her, he gets
I just
killed.
want to say, I love you, baby. I'll be home in like 20 minutes. I promise. I love you.
And then
he dies. It's like, oh, what? Yeah, that was obvious.
And I guess she gets back from the funeral because she's got a little like funeral playbill with her, and
I don't think they're called playbill. It's a funeral.
It is if she just got back from death at a funeral. Starring,
you know what? I'll have to give you that one.
Starring Morris Chestnut, and it had born and died, and Morris Chestnut, it said born 1980, died. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking the same thing.
Give me 2 seconds here.
Because I leaned over to you and was like, I pegged him for being in like his early 40s. And this movie is trying to tell me he's only a year older than I am.
I highly doubt that.
It feels like Morris Chestnut as an adult actor, has been around a while.
Born 1969, he's 46.
That sounds more accurate. 1980, my ass!
Also, I wonder exactly how they're marketing this movie.
Oh, check this shit out.
I was out of a poster for you. Yo, if I saw that in a fucking video store, I would assume that this was like a fucking just porno. Like that's the cover for like a fucking, you know, like 2 dicks, 1 chick fucking, you know.
Michael Ealy's really pissed because she's not wearing the dress he laid out for her.
How dare she?
He goes from 0 to batshit insanity in a millisecond in this movie.
Yeah, it's not like there's like a lead up to where you think that there's like something to him or, you know, like after it happens, it doesn't try to like downplay it like maybe it was an isolated thing and then things keep building. No, it's just suddenly it reaches that point in the movie where he's supposed to go crazy and then just that's it. For the rest of the movie, I mean, he's like sitting in his fucking apartment, which apparently is like right next to the sun because anytime he's in there, he's just pouring sweat, just sitting there like fucking like shirtless all the time.
It always looks like he just got done jerking off in this movie. Every shot of him, post-psychopath.
You see all those pictures he had of her like laying all over the place? He probably did.
He's got porn of her. Oh, that's a plot point we'll have to get to a little later. Because that's a big issue I have with this movie.
But yeah, it's like, it's the sort of thing, like, once it starts showing his apartment, like, he's living in like the exact same conditions as like
Matthew Fox
from fucking Alex Cross. It's like, what the fuck was his name in that? Like Picasso?
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like, oh my god, they live in the same apartment.
Yes, I don't like this building.
They're fucking roommates.
And I love whenever it cuts over to like his apartment area, it's always like these like mid-90s California like insert shots where it's like it looks like it's 2,000 degrees outside and there's just a lone wolf walking across the street. There's like Tony Scott inserts in this movie.
Like, whenever it needs to show that, like, there's a scene change, like, it'll show traffic, and overlaid on top of that, like, it dissolves to, like, a traffic shot, and then it'll dissolve just the corner to show, like, the sunset. And it's one of those, like, rapid, like, it's like, oh, there goes the sun, okay, next shot, pitch black. It's like...
Glad they put that insert in.
Yeah.
Now I know how days work.
Oh, thank God. Well, this is honestly a very informative movie, though.
It actually really is. Once it at the point when he turns psychotic in this movie, is there was just a guy at a gas station who is just it doesn't really even look like he's being inappropriate, even if you didn't know what he and the girl were talking about.
Yeah, it's just, he just is a guy who walks up to the car, like they're at a gas station, and like, Michael Ealy's car is just, it's like this old, like, Charger. And he just, like, walks up, he's like, wow, this is a really nice car. I was getting ready to fix one up myself. Like, could I get a picture? Like, this is kind of a reference. And then homeboy just pops out and beats this man almost to death.
Yeah, it's way longer than you see in the trailer.
Like, it's not like he just throws him back off the car and she freaks out. Like, no, like, he starts beating him. Like, he just goes into, like, this fucking, like blank stare, just fucking
get back to the car,
throws the guy, kicks him some more, kneels down on his chest again, and starts like rapid fire punching his face.
And then like the owner of the gas station or the manager or whatever comes out with a gun, fires it in the air, and is like, you get on out of here now. Like, or sit your ass there, I'm calling the cops. You just almost murdered this man.
What he even mentioned, like, I already called the cops. Because that was the thing that bugged me later on whenever, like, she goes to the cops. It's like, well, I know that he can be violent. I saw him beat this man mercilessly. It's like, was there a police report filed? And she's like, It's like, A, why didn't she call the fucking cops? And B, I'm sure that guy issued a fucking statement.
Yeah.
Like, just mention, like, oh, well, it was the day after my dad's birthday, which is July the 4th.
This is probably on camera, too.
July the 5th. So there should be a guy who reported getting beaten mercilessly.
And it's got to be security footage of it at this gas station.
It's a gas station, and it's not like some weird, like, run down fucking looks like, you know, Leatherface's dad works there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, no,
this is.
It's just like it's a gas station. It's a fucking gas station. It's a normal gas station.
Yeah.
He went inside and paid at the register before he went out there and went ape shit. They should have him, like, even if there's not cameras outside, there should be a camera over the that. There should be a camera fucking somewhere. That's never even talked about. Like, it's just like, well, because I mean, that'd be the end of the movie right there. Like, it's like, yeah, no, you know what? There was a man beaten within an inch of his life like 2 weeks ago.
And also later on,
like,
when
was this him? That's the man. Boom, done.
the guy from About Last Night. And then later on, when okay, so he murders Morris Chestnut. He kidnaps her cat. And then at one point, because the cops are saying to her, we need proof that he's gone inside your house. We need some kind of proof of this. But at this point, it's already been established that he has broken into her house and set up hidden cameras, recorded her and Morris Chestnut having sex, and then submitted that out to like everybody that she works with at her firm. He's like an ace hacker in this movie. He's like this. They even say in the movie he's got an extremely high IQ, so he's able to just like hack into her system, like her email, her phone, her.
Well, and for me,
history.
like, I'm at least for this movie, I'm okay with that because
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they set up at the beginning that he even fully disclosed, like, he's an information security analyst or some shit like that. Like, all right, and he even he set it all up from her computer, so it's not even
breaks into her house and does it.
So it's not even like he was hacking in off the network and you know, it's like no, like he just goes to her house when she's not there. Like gets her laptop and just sets up remote access on her side of things. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that makes it really easy.
But then once this happens with the hidden camera in the smoke alarm and sending this porno out to the people she works with, it's completely forgotten in the movie because that is clear evidence he set up this shit in her house. Yeah,
because then like a couple days later she goes to the cops again, like, we need something, and it's like, I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Like, you almost got fired on like Tuesday because a fucking porno of you and fucking Morris Chestnut got posted to everyone you work with, all of their clients, all the way up to and including U.S. senators.
Maybe there's some deleted scene where he is taking the security camera out. But I don't think so, because he's always watching her. He's always sitting there, like, he has, like, okay, like, this movie definitely could have benefited from, like, an Idris Elba as the villain, like, in No Good Deed. Or, like, because Michael Ealy, I mean, he's got the eyes for this kind of part.
He's got the kind of creepy thing, but he's not really physically intimidating.
I mean, for a part like this, where he's this kind of creepy stalker guy,
I mean, some of the scenes wouldn't have worked if it was, like, a bigger guy. Like, I'm sorry, Idris Elba or, like, Morris Chestnut, if they were, like, in the other role, like, he could not have fit under that bed.
No. Or, like, in the closets and shit like that he's hiding in. But once he goes crazy, and once in the last 2/3 of this movie, when it's just him doing crazy shit, he really doesn't say anything. He's really not much different than like a slasher movie villain, because he just kind of stands in silhouette. He's just watching through the windows. He has very little dialogue.
Just mostly angry face and smirking.
Yeah. And just sweating, having that post-masturbation face for like every other scene with him in this movie. And if not like an Idris Elba, like, Terrence Howard would have been amazing in this. Like that would have been great.
That would have changed this whole dynamic.
Yeah. How can you not ask me to root for Terrence Howard? What the fuck?
I know, right?
When he dies at the end of this movie, it like is this freeze frame on his face that's not unlike like the last shot of Caligula.
just lays there, blood all over his face, like just this like half a weird kind of smile, like half a look of like shock, like holy shit, I just got shot. And then he just lingers on it for like 30 fucking seconds.
It's one of the many moments in this movie where you could feel it was like pause for applause, like from the audience, like woo! Like there's so many like just like sort of watching like whenever people take footage of sitcoms and like cut out the laugh track. It's like we are watching this movie without the audience and it feels really awkward. Like the pacing is awkward. Like even like little like foreshadow. They have characters do really dumb shit in this movie just so the audience can like get mad at them. Like when she has that spare key just in the front yard underneath the rock and then is wondering how he keeps breaking into her house.
It's like, that's why you don't have a fucking hide key. Just don't lose your keys.
Or
you know what? She was like besties with her fucking neighbor. Just give her the key.
Nosy neighbor. The movie has nosy neighbor.
As soon as nosy neighbor comes out the first time, it's like this gal's own cat startles her when she's getting out the hide key.
Yeah.
So nosy neighbor immediately flies outside like, is everything okay? I heard a scream. It's like, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, speaking of sitcom.
And then just drifts back into her house. I'm like, well, that's not going to come back up.
Yeah, it's fine, Miss Sockmonic. Just go back inside. It's all good. It's fine. That shit happened to me like a week ago. I was staying over at my mom's, and I went out in the middle of the night to get something in the garage. And my mom's garage is it's like furnished. It's got like a couch TV and like a bunch of stuff in there. So I went out there to go get something, and then drunken nosy neighbor is standing there and like gives me a heart attack. And she's like, "Who is that over there? Who is that?" I'm like, "Brad." And she's like, "Who are you?" "Her son." "Oh, okay." I can tell why she thought I was breaking in. I was in my boxers and a t-shirt.
So I break into places. No one would expect it.
They'll never see it coming. No one's going to expect the guy dressed in pajamas without a mask on is going to be breaking into the garage.
That's where everyone keeps their valuables.
Yeah. I love, honestly, my favorite aspect of this movie, and probably my favorite character of the movie, other than the extras, is like the stuff with the cop.
I love seeing that guy. I always forget his name, but
Holt McCanley, something like that.
I love seeing him.
I love that guy. Shit. Oh, me too. And lately, I've been like over the past like year or more, I've seen him in a bunch more shit, and I get excited whenever he's in a movie. I fucking love that guy.
He has a really good screen presence.
Oh, he does. He's great in this movie. He was in. He was also one of the best parts in Black Hat. He was in that too. And there's a couple other things recently I've seen him in too. And
he's got that good presence for like a cop, a detective, a military guy. Like he's built for that.
Yeah, he was also a cop in Black Hat.
It's like you didn't even have to say anything. Like he's probably a cop in that.
He's a cop in that. Military guy in Three Kings.
Military guy in Below.
Yeah. Just a crazy ass in Fight Club. I don't know. Maybe his day job was he was a cop.
There were several people in Project Mayhem who were officers of the law.
We're gonna have to take your balls.
You said you'd say that too.
Need you to release me right now. So he's the cop in this, and he's great. I mean, I'll say this about the movie: the acting in it is perfectly fine. And he's. The best acting in the movie is from him, because you can feel his frustration in this movie, because he really does want to help this woman, but everything he's doing it's by law only thing he can do.
Yeah, it's hilarious in a way, because she keeps getting really pissed off at him, like, you're not doing enough to help, but he is literally doing exactly his job. Like, she goes in there about, like, it's like, well, he's stalking me. He keeps, like, going to, like, the same coffee shop I go to, and, like, he tries calling me, like, all day and all night. And he's like, well, it's not illegal to call somebody even 100 times a day. It's a dick move. Change your number, but I can't arrest someone because he's calling you. Likewise, he goes to the same coffee shop. I'm sorry, but I can't do anything about that.
And you can tell he feels frustrated, because you can tell he knows, especially as the movie goes along, he knows this isn't just, like her being paranoid or anything like that. He knows from the first time of meeting this dude that he's bad.
But he also knows that under the law, there's nothing he can do. And this isn't one of those movies where, like, all of a sudden, like, the cop, like, shrugs off, like, his responsibilities and becomes, like, a fucking vigilante.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's like, God damn it, yeah, I know there's something fucking wrong about this guy, but, like, I can't do anything. Like, it's like, well, here's this. Like, he killed Morris Chestnut and put his watch in my house. He's like, he could have forgot it here, but he wouldn't have. I'm like, I can't just take your word. I know that you're probably right, but I can't just do that.
Yeah.
Like, at a point, he even says, like, look, I can't just keep arresting him.
It's pretty great, too, when he just fucking punches him in the interrogation room. Like, oh, man, that sucks. You really hit your head there, guy. You need to be more careful.
Yeah, like, he's a pretty good cop that just is so frustrated because of the fact that his hands are just absolutely tied on this one. Like, even, like, mentioning to her, like, well, what am I supposed to do? He's like, I just, hopefully he'll stop fucking with you, like, 90 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like 90 times out of 100. That's what happens, is, like, they just give up because they realize it's not going anywhere. It's really super hard to prosecute, like, like, harassment and, like, stalking cases.
That's not true. I see Maggie Q and Dylan McDermott do it every week. According to Kevin Williamson, it's crazy easy to nail stalkers. We just gotta wait for Michael Ealy to set someone on fire.
That'll usually do it. When he even says that, like, look, like, it's like, we can try to keep an eye out for him, or, like, if you find more stuff, like, let us know. Like, if we can catch him in the act of doing some creepy shit around your house, hey, that'll work a lot.
Yeah.
But until then, like, I can't do shit for you. Like, we could maybe issue a restraining order, but, like, that's it. Mm-hmm. It's like, I like that, like, it was refreshing that, like, he didn't turn into some, like, fucking super cop, or, like, suddenly turn, like, fucking Dirty Harry and just go completely, like, vigilante. Like,
I didn't think that was gonna happen. I mean,
but I've seen movies like this before. Like they go to the cop and, like, the cop's like, oh, there's no way we can do this. Like, like, I'll help. Like, I've seen, like, stuff like that. But, like
Terrence Howard at the end of The Brave one, which is a great movie, but, like, at the end of that, where Terrence Howard is just shoot him.
where they, they kind of work with it. Like in the cop in here, like, he kind of, at a point, like, he, does the whole, like...
That was a great scene.
well, I'm on my break now. She's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? It's like, well, I can't give you advice as a cop. I mean, I can't just say to do something. Uh-huh. But, like, as a guy just sitting here having a cup of coffee, I can tell you all kinds of interesting stuff. Like exactly how a shotgun works, what it is, what kind of rounds you should get, the fact that they're called shells and not bullets when it's a shotgun.
This scene was simultaneously great, and then the scene directly following that was ridiculous, because this scene is great, because I like this. I like that he's like, oh, I'm gonna have coffee across the street, you can join me if you want. And yeah, he tells her about, like, if you have an intruder, you have a weapon, you fire a warning shot, they come at you, bam, there you go.
It's like, if you shoot him, that's murder. If you fire a warning shot and then shoot him, totally legal.
And she takes, because he's being really precise. He's telling her about shotgun, and the first few shells in there are bean bags, and then the rest of it is actual shotgun shells.
She does everything short of writing her down a shopping list.
She takes this literal. Like, I mean, like, okay, yeah, of course she picks up the advice of which was the intent, that she's going to get a weapon, and then he's gonna break in. She'll fire a warning shot, then she'll kill him. But she does go and literally get a shotgun.
Needless to say, it's half the size she is. It's like, you couldn't have advised her to get a slightly smaller weapon?
And Michael Ealy does very quickly get it away from her when she first shows up with it.
It's like she sets this elaborate trap where he thinks that she's in the shower. He goes in the bathroom and it is just blanketed in steam. Can't see shit, and then she pops up in the doorway surprise, motherfucker. And he just turns around, slowly walks up to her, and then just jumps her and takes the gun away and starts just beating her.
Because every single movie like this is how I knew it. At some point, I didn't necessarily expect Morris Chestnut to get killed, but I knew he was going to get subdued somehow, and I knew the cop wasn't going to come in at the end and do anything, because this goes to this movie will definitely be on Lifetime. Every movie like this is going to have the last 15 minutes of her kicking the shit out of him. Yeah. Which, great. I mean, awesome. It's the same ending as No Good Deed or any other movie.
Yeah,
like
it's
this.
Running around the house, oh, grab a knife, slice at him. Oh no, drop the knife, throw her into the stove, grabs a pan, beats him with the pan. Mm-hmm. It's just he keeps throwing her places, and then she just finds other things to hit him in the face with.
Wouldn't it have been amazing if it had the same ending as The Gift?
Oh my god. Fuck.
At the beginning of the movie, she and Morris Chestnut were talking about having kids. That was why they broke up the first time, was he said he didn't want to have kids.
Fuck, dude, you made it dark. Most of this movie takes place at night, and you made it dark. That would have been fucked up. That would have been a surprise I hadn't expected to that.
Wow, this ending is really in now.
Everything's just gonna start ending like that.
Yeah, the Maze Runner in a couple of days.
Oh my god.
Littlefoot just knocks somebody up. Oh, that's the Scorch. No, it ends she beats the shit out of him, kills him, and then she's sitting there I finally feel safe. Finally. Pause for applause.
It's are you okay? She's yeah. Yeah.
And
it's you should be feeling really fucked up about the fact that you just shot a man.
It really should have ended though on that still shot, at the end of Caligula, just the still shot of dead Michael Ealy, credits rolling.
Yeah. Well, and that's what made it tough with this one, because it does do a lot of I started mentioning this earlier, it does a lot of really sharp, really hard cuts between things at times, breaks rules you're not supposed to break. But then there'll be a lot of scenes where it, instead of being a harsh transition, it literally fades out and then fades back up to something else. Well, that's where the first commercial break goes.
Oh yeah, this is a total Lifetime movie.
It never goes too far with any language. It never goes too far with
sex,
any action, with it. Yeah,
even the violence. Him getting shot in the chest at the end can be shown on television.
Yeah, his shirt was a little red where it hit him. It's I don't think they know how a shotgun works.
It was just a really hard beanbag that just went right through him.
But yeah, I mean, this movie, it is definitely intended to be shown on TV. But the thing about it, too, with that is, this movie should have just been shown on TV.
You wouldn't have had the effect with the audience, though, which, I mean, we didn't get. Which honestly means this movie should only be shown on opening weekend, and then leave.
Immediately for Lifetime.
Yeah, and then immediately go to television, because that's how this movie is. It is totally trashy. It is totally just it is total garbage, but it's kind of it's entertaining garbage because I like this kind of trash like this.
Yeah, these are the bad movies that I don't mind going to because it's fun.
Yeah, it is just entertaining trash for like 80 or 90 minutes. It is the same logic of sitting there and watching a dumb fucking Lifetime thriller like this. So that's how this movie works. Either you're in a movie theater with a lot of people who are going to shout at the movie, or you're just watching at home on TV with a few friends and some drinks, and you can like kind of like laugh along with the movie the same way you would with something like No Good Deed. The same fucking thing. Or that one with that was also a stalker thriller. What was that one with Beyonce? Obsessed?
Yeah.
Obsessed. Something like that.
With like the fucking epic 25-minute battle royale between her and Ollie Larder.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Worth every goddamn penny. I will say this, since we saw this on a Tuesday, they do, I don't know if this is the case with every AMC, but this AMC does half-price Tuesdays. It was only $5 a ticket for us to get in to see this.
I did not know they did that on Tuesdays. Probably because no one comes to movies on Tuesdays.
If there's something that we haven't fucking seen, I'll be like, dude, it's only $5 and we're gonna go see this fucking movie on a Tuesday. So for $5 for a ticket, I did not feel ripped off with this just stupid ass movie. I didn't. I mean, we sat there and laughed our ass off during this. It would have been much better with a giant audience there, but it was practically like we were watching it on TV at home.
But yeah, I mean, we were just, like, at a point, like, we weren't even talking in hushed tones. We were just talking to each other, like, laughing out loud at shit as it was happening. I mean, no one else was, but everybody else, like, there were, like, maybe...
There was a
three or four couples.
There was a couple people like in the far back. They wouldn't have been able to hear us.
They were all the way back at the fucking top of the fucking theater. So I'm like I felt no problem. Even if they had been closer, you know what kind of fucking movie this is. You paid $5 fucking dollars to come in here.
If they were closer, I would have. If they were closer, I would have felt bad. But they were. It was a large theater we were in, where we were sitting, where they were sitting. There was no way they would have heard us.
It was like us, and then 30 rows of nothing, and like 3 rows that had like a smattering of people.
It's in the big theater because, like I said, it is the #1 movie in America right now.
Because apparently there's no other movies out.
Nope. Well, The Visit, I highly recommend that. It was #2 only by a difference of like 1 million. Just whatever, as long as War Room's not #1 again.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That still fucking amazes me.
Oh my god, I got so many cocky messages about that, like on YouTube and like 1 or 2 on Twitter. Maybe it was just on YouTube. Where it was like, oh, so it's the #1 movie in America. Why don't you make a video about that, buddy? It's the same kind of cocky comment you see whenever there's a negative review of a movie like War Room. So I'm just like, congratulations, your movie limped to #1 with $8 million on the slowest audience turnout of the year. Congrats! Yeah. Next fucking Jurassic World right there.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, yeah, it hit #1. And like, oh man, it's like, cause like the news was making it sound like it was fucking this impossible, like David versus Goliath type thing. Like, oh man, the first movie to actually edge past like Straight Outta Compton. I'm like, it's been in theaters for like a fucking month now. It's like, I should hope eventually another movie makes more than what it's making off the like severe decrease in number of people per week that haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
And besides, War Room, like, it managed #1 that weekend with what, was it even
like 8 million, which I mean is good for a movie like, I mean, not good in that, like, I'm so glad because it was a terrible fucking movie, but like it only cost like 3 million to make, so yeah, I mean the producers of that movie are sitting fucking pretty over that profit, but
yeah, it's the sort of thing is like, it's like, ooh, #1 movie in America, like $8 million.
Make a review about that, buddy.
Like, $8 million on, like, a wide release. Like, if it had come out, like, 3 weeks earlier, that wouldn't even have put it on the chart.
Fucking
amount of money.
Oh yeah, and you'll see this in the comments for every negative review of that movie. And well, now my answer is like, how about I do a review of the fact that 90 Minutes in Heaven opened at number 9, or like that only in cases like that does the number 1 movie somehow mean quality. Really? Like, okay, it's not just good, it's 50 Shades of Grey good.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of movies that were number 1 at the box office that I thought to myself,
really?
Wow, there's a lot of people going to see terrible movies.
Yes. We're among them.
I mean, to be fair, we are part of the problem.
We are. I did contribute to War Room being number 1.
Well, it's like I
totally did.
I mentioned to Sarah after we went and saw We Are Your Friends.
Yeah.
Okay, that thing averaged like $700 per screen.
Mm-hmm.
We were at least $20 of that. Like that out of 700, that's actually a noticeable percentage.
Okay, real quick. We totally ran out the battery on you.
Oops.
So, Perfect Guy. It's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah, maybe go see it or don't. It'll be on TV.